Well, there's a Fox News article that came out a couple days ago saying experts warn of devastating effect as traditional male roles deemed toxic by media and Hollywood. It's kind of based off the new Barbie movie and the issues with that. But the thing I found the most interesting was it goes into Riley Gaines, who is the swimmer. She complained about having to face the trans swimmer Leah Thomas, right? So here's her comment. Now, Riley Gaines, in this article about toxic masculinity, blah, blah, she is going to explain to all the men what it means to be masculine. She says she's going to explain because, and this is interesting, she is a feminist and she knows what it means to be masculine. And I would agree with that she is a very masculine woman. I've seen some of her interviews. She has a very masculine essence. And so she is going to explain to all the men as a feminist what it means to be masculine. She says in the article, as a society, we have lost what it means to be masculine. I think the last time that we as a society had a culture of strong men was during the 1940s and World War II. I think we're in this part of the process now where weak men have created hard times, which we can only hope that these hard times garner strong men again, but we need to expedite the process. And we're seeing it as infiltrating into all aspects of life. Okay, so here's what men need to do to be more masculine. What do they need to do to be more masculine? And Riley, as a feminist, in Riley Gaines's opinion, here's what they need to do. For her, see, now this is interesting. The men need to do something for her and for women. Here's what she says. There were no men who defended us when we expressed our discomfort in the locker room. No coaches, no parents, no athletic directors, no one. And I waited desperately for one of those men to step up because that role, the coaching role and the athletic director role, it is a male dominated role. And none of them were stepping up, she says. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? Poor Riley. Poor Riley, here she is in a photo with Leah Thomas. Here's the quote. Oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Oh, what oppression. She says, I took it upon myself to speak out because I was sick of waiting for men. Yes, of course you would, Riley Gaines, because you are a masculine woman. You are a feminist and you are a masculine woman. Of course, you would stop waiting for men to speak out. That is what a feminist does. She says, I'm still waiting for those men to take a stand and say enough is enough and really fulfill not only their societal role, but their biblical role, which is, of course, to protect and provide. So this feminist woman who is a NCAA champion swimmer, she's going to tell men about their societal role, and now she has become a theologian, and she is going to tell men, Christian men, about their biblical role that they need to fulfill. Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that that we, Fox News, the conservative news channel, is going to hold up this feminist and say, here's what you need to do. Now, if you'll notice, if you're not stupid, you notice that what she is asking men to do is to come to the aid of women. Now, what is the fundamental tenet of feminism? Which she says she is. She says she's a feminist in another article. What is the fundamental tenet of feminism? It is being strong and independent. You are a strong, independent woman. And so you ask the question, well, independent of what? And if you read any of the feminist writing, actually one of the second wave feminists, one of the fundamental people, she's from my hometown, which is kind of interesting. But if you read the feminist writing, what is the strong, independent woman? What is she independent of? She is independent of men. She's independent of men. She's strong, independent. She makes her own money. She does her own things. She is strong and independent of men. Until things go bad and things get hard and men compete against her And then what does the strong, independent woman need? She needs a man to come to her aid, come to her side. She is still dependent on the man. Wow. Oh my goodness. Poor girl. Poor, strong, independent feminist swimmer that tells us how to be masculine. She needs a masculine man to come to her aid. Now, Riley Gaines says in another article, this is another Fox News article, she dismisses Leah Thomas' feminist remarks as a male mansplaining what it means to be a feminist. If you read down in the article, she clearly identifies as a feminist. And if you hear her talk, wow, she's a masculine woman, very masculine, she has a masculine essence. And of course she would. If you were a, what's she like, 5-time NCAA champion swimmer, blah, blah, whatever. Of course you're going to have a masculine essence. That is not a feminine essence to be a champion competitive swimmer. That's not a feminine trait. Here we go. She says, feminism is not a fluid term, says Riley Gaines. Meaning what it means to be a feminist is to uphold, respect, honor, embrace, and celebrate women on our own physical ceilings, our own uniqueness. That term has not changed. Okay, that's very interesting because I don't know where she got that definition, but it wasn't from the second wave feminists in the 1970s. And so she is redefining it. So it seems like it is a fluid term. She's contradicting what she's even saying in this article. Now here she is again on a picture of her and Leah Thomas after he won the swimming trophy or whatever, some competition. Here's her quote. And so Riley Gaines again tells all the men how to be masculine, because she knows quite a bit about being masculine. Now, what I would like is somebody, a woman preferably, to tell her gently how to be a woman, how to be a feminine woman, not a feminist woman, but a feminine woman. That would be fantastic if she could sit down on a show and have someone. I know she dyes her hair blonde and she puts on a dress, but that does not make you feminine. That doesn't make you feminine. That would be fantastic if someone would tell her how to be feminine. I don't think she has a clue. If you listen to her talk, I don't think she has a clue what it means to be a woman. She says we need to go back to the 1940s, men like that. You know, in the 1940s, she's 23 years old. If she was a feminine woman in the 1940s, she would most likely be married. And she would have to, speaking biblically, she would have to submit herself to her husband if she wants to be a biblical wife, which I don't think she has any clue about how to do that. Now, maybe that's judgmental. This is just the post-millennial man's take on it. But I would say, hey, if you want to be a feminine woman, stop being so masculine. Discover what it means to be a wife and move on with life that way. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we got to get this corrected. I really chafe against women splaining to men how to be masculine. We got to get this corrected. But even with all that, Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Post-Millennial Man.